Hey, what's up, family? How you guys doing? What's up, friends? How you guys doing? It's your brother Micaiah, and I'm gonna drop some very, very key information in regards to today's Christianity. All right, I'm gonna dive into this book, and then also your apocrypha right there, and also underneath this book, I have a historical book, right? So I got multiple references on why today's Christianity is a mess and why a lot of our people are coming out of today's Christianity. Primarily your blacks, Mexicans, and Native American peoples. You understand me? Because we're like sitting in the Sunday church pews, we thought we were Gentiles. You understand? We thought we were Gentiles until, we start getting more truth and more truth and more truth. We're like, okay, we're not just Gentiles. We're God's chosen people. All right. So I'm going to make this video as fast as I could, but as very, very powerful as I can. You hear me? So that you guys can see this stuff for yourselves. You hear me? So I'm going to let you read what I'm reading. Okay? And we're just going to dive into it. But Christ, the Messiah, most people, you would call him Jesus Christ. I'll use it for edification purposes, but I call him Yeshua. Okay? So Jesus Christ, he warned us in the last days, you hear me, that there will be a group called Christianity. All right? There will be a group called Christianity, and they will be deceiving so many people. You understand me? Not just Christianity. I'm not just talking about your normal day Christians. I'm talking about the headquarters of Christianity. What is the headquarters of Christianity? The Roman Catholic Church. You hear me? The Roman Catholic Church is the head of Christianity. The Roman Catholic Church is the head of Islam. You hear me? And yes, I got my Quran too. As you guys can see, I'm no new baby when it comes to my Quran. Okay? I get up in that word too. You hear me? I study to show myself approved. Alright? I got the Book of Mormon, etc. I study to show myself approved. But anyway, that's not today's topic. So we're going to go into this, okay? We're going to talk about Christianity. Alright? So, yeah, like I said, I got my Book of Mormon, okay? I study. You hear me? I study to show yourself approved. Like I said, Book of Mormon. Anyways, you probably don't turn it off by now, but don't turn it off right now because we're going to go into Christianity. You hear me? This is our focal point. So Christianity, family. Jesus Christ warned us over here in the book of Matthew, chapter 24. All right? He warned us in the book of Matthew, chapter 24. So let's read it. You hear me? And it says, "And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the building of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left one here, one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down." Okay? Verse 3 says, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming? Okay, the second coming. And the end of the world. Is that like the end of the earth? No. It's a new beginning for the people who are staying at the bottom. You hear me? We're not going to be continuing being in poverty, living paycheck to paycheck. Our people sprung out on drugs and alcohol, doing all these crazy types of sins. You hear me? We're not going to be like that the whole entire time for generations to come. You hear me? We're not going to be like that no more. And we're also going to be at the top. But right now, we're at the bottom. Okay, that was a curse that was written on our people in Deuteronomy 28. And we'll get there in just a second. Okay? But it says, what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? We can precede that with 2 Ezra 6, 8, and 9. It talks about Esau and Jacob's. Okay? But anyways, it says, and Jesus answered and said unto them, okay, take heed, okay, take heed that no man deceive you. All right? Take heed that no man deceive you. Okay? Next, what does he go to next? He says, for many shall come in my name. Many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. You see that? I am Christ, and shall deceive many. What religion out there has Christ in their religion? Christianity. You hear me? Christianity has Christ in their religion. All right? What are they doing with today's religion? They're using it with a lot of paganism. Okay, they're mixing their beliefs with paganism. Okay, the Holy Bible and everything else it's in there, it's accurate. You hear me? The Holy Bible is accurate. Is that you got pagan people who try to mix their beliefs, like Constantine. Okay, for instance, Constantine was a very big pagan until he was basically forced to do a lot of the dirty work and mix his paganism with all this religious stuff that you see in the Bible, like for instance, all the characters inside the Bible who are real people. You hear me? All right. So another thing, okay? We're going to go to Colossians chapter 2. All right? And we're going to go to verse 8. All right? It says, be aware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. Okay? So what a lot of Christianity is teaching you is of this world, and it's not of the heavens. You hear me? Christianity, they start in the middle of Matthew, okay? Start in the middle of they go to Matthew and to the book of Revelations over here. You hear me? They go to the book of Revelations and that's it. That's all they stick to. They neglect to go to the Old Testament. You hear me? It says here, be aware lest any man spoil you through philosophy, okay, and vain deceit, after tradition of men, okay. So they go, these pastors, these priests, they go to these Bible seminary schools, right? And they're only able to teach a certain doctrine when it comes to their religion. Okay? And then they get certificates, they get money, they get grants, they get all this stuff, right? And a lot of the money that they keep during all the tithing that comes into their church, they keep that. That's like their tips. You hear me? They get paid to preach because church and state are together when it comes to Christianity. The 501c3. You hear me? All right? After the rudiments of the world and not after Christ. Okay? Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vanity after the tradition of men and after the rudiments of the world and not after Christ. Okay? So, here's another one we can go to. We're going to go to 2 Corinthians. Let's go to 2 Corinthians real quick. See, a lot of this stuff right here, this is very vital to our learning. This book is not religious. It is Christianity and religion itself. The Catholic Church, they all made it religious. You hear me? They all made it religious. And it's not religious. All right? Okay. So it's going to go to 2 Corinthians. All right? 2 Corinthians. All right? And then we're going to go to chapter 11. 2 Corinthians chapter 11. All right? And we're going to go to verse 4. All right? We're going to go to verse 4 and it says, for if he, who is the he? That's the religion part, right? Or another person coming to preach philosophy to you. Okay? It's all that psychology. Psychology is the enemy's greatest weapon. Okay? Psychology is the enemy's biggest weapon. Alright? Alright. For he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have not preached, It's talking about Paul and the other disciples, okay? Whom we have not preached. Or if you receive another spirit, what? You can receive another spirit too? What? Okay? Or if you have not received, or another gospel, what? Another gospel? What? So they are preaching a Jesus, okay? They're going to preach another Jesus that's not going according to the word, all right? They're going to preach to you, and you're going to receive another spirit that's not of the Holy Spirit, okay? And you're going to receive another gospel, which is going to be a watered down gospel, and you're thinking that, whoa, blacks, Mexicans, and Native Americans are just Gentiles. They'll preach this to you, not knowing that you're the one that's going through poverty, you're the one that's going through hardships, not knowing, hey, they're lying to you. You hear me? See this right here. For he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have not preached, or if we receive another spirit which ye have not received, or another gospel which ye have not accepted, ye might bear with him. Okay? And this is all they're doing. It's all trickery. Okay? There is nowhere in the Bible where it talks about a Jesus that has brown hair and blue eyes. You hear me? So this is why the white man, he lied to us. Does this make us want to hate him? Sometimes. But are we to reject on preaching to him? No. We still preach to the white man. But just know that he gonna have his role in the kingdom. Alright? Alright, so John, let me see, what's the one we want? Let me see. This is the one we want. Let's see, 7. Oh, I think it's maybe 7. John 7. Okay. All right, here we go. John, okay, the book of John, chapter 7, and verse 38, it says, He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. All right. So you want to believe on the Messiah, how it is written in this book. Okay. Based off of the precepts. All right. So this is what they did. Okay. Let's go over here to this book real quick. Let's go to, I'm going to go to Wisdom of Solomon real fast. Because this is where they don't preach this book to you guys in your religion either. They take it out. Because they know it's going to tell truth and they don't want to, they want to water down the truth so that you don't get the full truth. You hear me? All right, so we're going to go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. All right. And I call this the Caesar Borgia image. Okay. The Caesar Borgia image. All right. So it says right here, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. And we're going to look at verse 11. All right. Verse 11, it reads, let me see, I'm going to go up to verse, I'm going to go to verse 8. Okay. It says, but that which is made with hands is cursed as well it has made it, he because he made it, and it because being corruptible it was called God. For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God. For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because on the creature of God they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. You hear me? Spiritual fornication. That's exactly what they're doing in today's Christianity. You hear me? They're teaching you to have spiritual fornication because they're preaching to you another Jesus. All right? For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. For neither were they from the beginning, neither were they be ever. For in the vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore they come shortly to an end. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child soon taken away, now honor him as a God, which then was a dead man, and delivered those that which are under him, ceremonies and sacrifices. All right. It says, thus in the process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong, as strong was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. Y'all see that? It says, and the graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. How do you put that in today's life? Well, they do that same thing with Donald Trump, right? What they do with Donald Trump, they put put his face on a coin. They put his little picture with the secret agent on a coin, and then people worship it. They have it as a trophy. You hear me? See, just because you don't worship by as you bowing down to it, you having it in your house, it could still be set like under an altar, right? Well, altars are made for worship. Okay, you put that image or whatever you trying to do, like it could be a coin, it could be whatever it is, it could be a picture. It could still be placed in a certain area as a shrine, okay? And then it'll be there in your house as worship, and you'll invite all these ugly spirits. Excuse me. All right? When keep reading, says, who men could not honor in presence, because they dwelt far off, they took the counterfeit of his visions from far, and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end, and by this their forwardness, that they might flatter him that was absent if he were present. So he was not there, but they still painted him like he was there. Who is this? Caesar Borgia. Okay? Caesar Borgia is in the Last Supper about 3 times. His sister Lucretia Borgia is in the picture twice. The Last Supper, the white image of Jesus Christ, the Last Supper that you guys have on your wall. You understand me? All that crap of white Jesus, white Jesus, white Jesus. Man, that dude is the devil. You hear me? White Jesus is the devil. You remember watching Ace Ventura, Pet Detective? What do the African people call Jim Carrey? White devil. You hear me? Well, this guy right here, he's a devil. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to go to another one. Wait till I show you guys the images of what's coming next. You hear me? Because images speak 1,000 words, correct? Images speak 1,000 words. And I want you guys to see these images I have for you. Alright? So First Maccabees 3. First Maccabees 3 and 48. Okay. Some more of the Caesar Borgia image. Alright. First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48 says, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. Ooh, see that? So this is why the Messiah, he told you in the book over here in Matthew chapter 24 and verse 5, he says, be aware of these people, okay? So look, so now I got this book right here, okay? It's called Power, a Political History of the 20th Century. Okay? And so this is in page 44. Okay? So we're going to read this real quick, and I'll show you guys these individual pictures. And see what, I'm going to show you what they're doing. You hear me? Alright, so it says right here. Let me do it like this. Okay. It says, reflecting a belief that the white man, oh man, look they getting right to it. Okay, the missionary movement. It says right here, reflecting a belief that the white man was in the vanguard of history spiritually as well as the materially, the 19th century saw a revival of the missionary movement Organizations both Protestant and Catholic operated from the United States, Britain, Holland, Scandinavia, Germany, Switzerland, France, Belgium, Portugal, and completed to turn vast areas of South Asia and Central and Southern Africa into parishes of their national churches. You hear me? It says, the scramble for the foreign possessions went hand in hand with the contest of souls and minds of their inhabitants, so that by the turn of the century, the missionary movement was well established as an integral part of the development of colonies, and was given international dimensions by setting up in 1910 of the World Missionary Conference, suspended in 1921 by the International Council of Missionaries. All right, we're right here. You see that? We're right there. Many missionaries provided elementary medical service and rudimentary social welfare, which from a humanitarian perspective were essential, but the imposition of alien religion had profoundly disruptive consequences on the integrity of the subject peoples. This was especially the case when accompanied by the imprisonment of alien language, in both spoken and written form. Most devastating of all, Christian evangelism might undermine the bias of the complex ritual and symbolism through which the tribes and nations have evolved and maintained their identity and sense of place and origins. The cultural imperialism of the missionaries and the unwittingly otherwise prepare for the conclude with the dispersions wrought by commercial and military imperialism. The Ethiopian Emperor Theodore was promoted to commonly, what the heck is that W word? Right there. Wirely. First, it's traders and missionaries, then ambassadors that got and bring the guns. Okay, so this is what's all going on. It says, first it's traders. So look, so this is how they set it up. Okay, it says first the trader Ethiopian, the traders and missionaries and its ambassadors. After that, they bring the guns. You see that? So this is their tactic of how they move into a country and how they take it over. You hear me? Exactly what they did to the Americas. What did Spain and all these European countries do to us? They brought us peace. They brought their fur traders, right? They brought this. They brought the goods. And then bam, bam. And then, they brought the missionaries to see if they can speak to us. And then when we didn't comply, or when some of us did, they snuck in and they caught us from the back. And they slaughtered a lot of our peoples. Okay? They slaughtered black, Mexican, and Native American peoples. You hear me? They're showing you right here what they're doing, what their plan is. You hear me? Whose plan? The white man. All right, look, this is what their plan is. All right, look. It says, the Ethiopian Emperor Theodore was prompted to commonly warrow its first traders and missionaries, then its ambassadors. After that, they bring the guns. We shall do better. We shall do better to go straight to the guns. The contamination of the colonial cultures generally carried out within artificially imposed territorial boundaries was perpetuated by all the attempts of the more enlightened nations to fill minor bureaucratic positions, with officials recruiting from the indigenous population. In practice, this meant the formation of elite and indoctrinated with the Eurocentric visions of history which underpinned imperialism, so that the very people best placed to help their own societies develop autonomously complied with the unraveling of the fine tissue of their native history. Okay? Now we're going to look at these little bulletins right here. Okay? It says, the colonizer as a blend of Christ and doctor. What? The colonizer as a blend of Christ and the doctor. It was widely assumed by the 19th century Europeans that the alleged incarnation of superior culture, the white man, had a mission to bring spiritual and physical score to primitive people. Okay? It says a white teacher in an African missionary school looked sternly but benignly over her black flock. You see that? A white teacher in an African missionary school looked sternly but benignly over her black flock. Only in recent decades have anthropologists come to recognize the extraordinary complexity, richness, and ecological sanity which tribal cultures possess before being forcibly educated into adopting Western notions of progress. The last one right there says, devout missionaries were sufficiently blinded by their own religious convictions to reject native belief systems wholesale and seek to replace them with European creeds and icons. Man, get up out of here, you damn Christ devils. Want to be Christ Christians. Get up out of here. See, this is what the Messiah, this is what he was warning us of. It says, be aware lest they come to you in vain philosophy and after the rudiments of Christ. Okay? This is how they're coming at you. You hear me? I'll read that to you guys again. Devout missionaries were sufficiently blinded by their own religious convictions to reject native belief systems. They had their own mindsets, like seared with a hot iron. Like, oh, I'm not going away from how I was taught, nor am I going to accept native belief systems. But hey, when we slaughter these people, we're gonna show them our ways, and we're gonna make these people who are born into our generational times, we're gonna make them be under us, have our belief system as the white man. Do you see that? This is what's going on over here. That's what they're doing. Okay? So look, it says right here, the colonizer as a blend of Christ and doctor. What are they doing in this picture, family? What are they doing in that picture right there? Who do you guys see in this picture? It says, the colonizer as a blend of Christ and doctor. It was widely assumed by the 19th century Europeans that the alleged incarnation of a superior culture, the white man, had a mission to bring spiritual and physical score to primitive people. See? Look. This guy right here, he helped destroy this person to become sick. He's helping them to stay in poverty. Okay? But you have a white Jesus over here in the background. That's the same white Jesus that they try to put up on top of us. You see that? Pictures speak 1,000 words. What's going on over here? Okay? Look. It says right here. What are they doing right here? What are they doing right there? Them brothers, they're praying to a white image of a lady and a child known as Mary. Nah, Mary ain't white. Jesus ain't white. You see that? Look. So this is what that lady's doing right here. Look at her. It says, a white teacher in an African missionary school looks sternly but billingly over her black flock. Only in recent decades have anthropologists come to recognize the extraordinary complex of richness and ecological sanity which tribal cultures possess before being forcibly educated into adopting Western notions of progress. Look at these poor little kids over here. Look at them. Look. Bet you a lot of these little kids right here, you see in this picture, are Judah. See? They did this to Mexicans and Native Americans too. But I'm just showing you Judah right here. Look. The sister over here in the back reading the book. She probably barely trying to read it. Y'all see what's going on in these pictures? Told you, pictures speak 1,000 words. Look at this brother over here, look, he looks scared. Over in the top right. Y'all remember watching that movie, Birth of a Nation? There's some more we can read real quick. There's a picture right there too. Teaching them how to read and write. Okay, it says right here. Zimbabwe is another nation state surprisingly opposed over existing tribal territories, though the remaining settlers eventually submitted to black majority. The ceremony opening of its parliament still celebrates the continuity with British legal institutions and directly a superiority of white civilization. Okay, this other side on the right. Natives were taught to read and write ostensibly before panoramic purposes, but primarily to be more susceptible to European rule. Recently, however, gifted writers have emerged using the colonial lingua franca. They learn to express instead the unique history of their own ethnic culture. Look at this. This nigga over here trying to be like George Washington. See that? The same hair that George Washington used. They're having these brothers over here do the same thing. He's like, compromise or die. You see that? Shoot. So what I be doing, family? I be studying. Oh, I thought we'd need more electricians and plumbers, and we don't need no more rappers. See, I get my information, right? I get my information like this from all my books. I done rap so many verses up in the Holy Bible. Okay? I done put verses of the Apocrypha in my songs. I done put the Book of Mormon in my songs. Okay? I even put the Quran in my songs. And now I got more leverage to put more of this history stuff in my songs too. You hear me? So best believe I'll be having more songs talking about this type of information right here. You hear me? All this information. We gotta wake up, family. This ain't even just a half of it. So much information in here. So much. All this. Pictures. Speak 1,000 words. Ooh, what's going on over here? Hey, look. This one's talking about Mexicans. It says, I just seen this now. The art of revival artists such as Diego Rivera and Jose Clemente Orozco formed an important element in the popularization of Mexican Revolution. Although each approached the concept of socially art differently, they were united by native traditions of the Aztecs and Mayans. You see that? Look at that little Iskar brother right there. Look like he's forming like he's on the cross too. You see that? I told you, family. I have a purpose on this earth, whether you like it or not. We're going to get these books out. And I have a lot more books just like this one. Politics of the Depression. Sounds like what's going on right now, huh? So they call this the Great Depression times. From 1929, 1945. So if you ever want to know all the the stock markets and the inflations and all that, go read about the politics of the depressions, and it'll show you how they tie in together. You hear me? I'll show you how they tie in together. All that good stuff. You hear me? But I think I'm gonna call it a night. Much love, much respect. Get up in them books, family. Get up in them books. Stop being lazy. Repent. Get water baptized. Endure to the end. Read. Study. Get in them books. You hear me? Love you. Have a good night.